Hey there, my Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your Me, Them, Us reading for the remainder of September 2019. This is a shorter version of a spread that I used for the Twin Flame readings for the month. So I was just guided to do this because this is what I do. This is a spread that I do, a much quicker, simpler version of it. So go have a look in the description box for the decks that I'm using. Also, should you be interested, I am available for private reads now, and I got the guidance this morning to start doing extended reads on Vimeo.com. I've had my Vimeo account there. I'm Vimeo Pro, I think, for over 3 years. So I got that. So I'm not going to start that with these, but I think for the longer reads, right, just to keep them a little bit easier to watch time-wise, I'm going to be doing extendeds and clarifications in extended reads for some of these. Cool. Not this round, though. So let's dive in. The blessing of the decks, very, very interesting for Scorpio. I mean, it wasn't necessarily emotional, but it felt very strong. I guess strong is an emotion, but it was more like a feeling this is strong. So what we're going to do is we're going to build one line for you horizontally because you're the me in this reading. The other will be the them. And to clarify, it can be a person, place, or thing. Need not absolutely be a person, though. That's how I've been rating them, and that's how they've been feeling them, but I'm trying to keep that variable open. And then the third horizontal line will be for the us. You plus them equals us. But we're going to actually build them first horizontally so we get clarity on the me, the them, and the us. Now I have no planet. Well, it's not true. I do have planets in Scorpio, but what do I have? It's generational. I have Neptune in Scorpio, so not Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus signs. Thank the gods. I like doing these reads where I don't have any planets. It's so much easier to stay impersonal. So shall we? Here we go. My collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves, please. One card to represent the Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this relationship for the remainder of September 2019. And we have the Addict. Now, don't freak out. This card has been popping up, particularly in relationships, relationship addiction, codependence, all that kind of stuff is indicated there. But also that could mean that you are confronting an addict, not necessarily yourself, though everybody has addictions. Everybody has addictions. So you may want to check your other signs for these because that has come up a couple of times. So let's get one then for the other, please, my pantheon. Same thing, the other in this Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship for the remainder of September 2019. The wounded child, I feel like that has come up as well in previous readings in this particular zodiacal round of reading. So an addict and a wounded child for the other. That's what I feel is something strong here, but I don't necessarily feel it's strong bad. Right now I feel strong neutral, and that's why I'm going to get all the puzzle pieces on the table for you all before I make any determinations like that. But I can say I feel that in my solar plexus. It's like there's definitely something compulsive going on here, which is in the lead, but that means that the potential for it to be alchemized into gold is high, we hope. So please, my pantheon, please, one card for this overall relationship, the us to the me, them, us, for this Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in this relationship for the remainder of September 2019. This one. Companion. Well, that's good. Companion. The light and the shadow on that seems to be a little bit milder than some of the other cards in the healing family. That is from the healing family. So you got the addict archetype, which is the wild card family. You've got the wounded child, which is the survival family. Everybody has the child archetype. The wounded child, you could say, is a sub-archetype or a sub-pattern within the child, and the companion, the healing. And that's why I felt really there was a healing thing, that the opportunity to alchemize lead to gold is high here. Now, just to read these for you to clarify. The addict, the light attribute, helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior, right? So it doesn't mean you have a lifelong addict archetype. It might just be that right now in this relationship, this power, the soul power, is helping you to recognize and confront addictive behavior, not necessarily your own. Can you recognize addictive behavior in someone and confront it? The shadow attribute compromises integrity and honesty, allows an addictive pattern to have authority over your inner spirit. So whether this is dealing with your addictions in this situation or someone else's, then you're either the addict or you're the codependent, right? Or have been in the shadow is what I'm saying. So that's why, I hope people don't click off the moment they see an archetype card they don't like, because it's like there's such wealth there to be had, so much learning, so much growth, right? So much evolution. So the wounded child. Now look, there are probably more wounded child archetypes on this planet than ever before. Kids in cages, please. It makes me sick to my stomach. I pray for those kids a lot, right? May all children be safe and free and with loving families. That's the prayer. So the wounded child archetype, and who wasn't wounded in my generation? I'm 51 years old. I lived through the 70s and the 80s. How did we not get wounded? So the light attribute awakens compassion and desire to serve other wounded children, opens the learning path of forgiveness. So if this other can really get that they're carrying wounds of childhood, but it's opening the path to forgiveness, that they can help other people who've gone through the same thing, that's wonderful if that's what they're doing. But the shadow attribute blames all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, resists moving on through forgiveness. So there's a real blame about the past, because it's so much, well, it's not so much easier to blame your parents or blame your childhood. It may be short-term easy, but long-term easy, nothing heals, nothing changes, and you just keep replaying the same patterns. So if I'm talking to the cross-watcher here, just know that this is all about forgiveness, light and shadow. I would focus on that. Not telling people what to do, but I'm saying I would. No, but this ain't my reading at the Mo. Because this is beautiful, though, the healing family archetype of the companion. I have the companion in my alchemical mix. Light attribute, loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. Now, dealing with an addict, addicts lie, right? So again, my Scorpio, whether you're the addict or dealing with this addicted, wounded child, this codependent, whatever this is, unselfishness, it's going to take that on both sides to make this relationship heal. Who knows the structure of it? This may not necessarily even be a romantic read yet. We'll see what comes out with the other cards. But now this is the thing. This is where it really tips the hand of codependency. I know this archetype, right? Shadow attribute. Betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. In other words, if you have become identified with this person as their savior, as their what have you, be careful. There's a possibility for both of you to lose yourselves in this companionship. Betrayal of confidence. Yikes, it's an addict thing. And again, I'm not saying you're the addict. Maybe that's the behavior you are confronting. So hang in there. But yet there is that loyalty, tenacity, and selfishness. So let's lay down some more cards. Let's save some summations until all the cards are on the table. My angels, please, one card to clarify this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign in this September relationship for the remainder of September 2019. Please, your guidance and grace. Well, there's a new love here. Now, a new love can be in an ongoing relationship, because it's not that we necessarily love and don't love, but we go between love and fear, love and fear, love and fear, love and fear. So every time we take the miracle, do the forgiveness, move into the gold, right? We choose the love, then it could be a new love, but maybe there's a new love up for you, my Scorpio, and maybe it's this wounded child, or maybe this wounded child person's been in your life for a while, but you've been struck with new love. Again, could be new love of self. That's why we do not determine that right off the bat. Do we? No, we don't. Thank you, my angels. So my angels, please, same thing for the them, the other in this Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship for the remainder of September 2019. That's interesting. All right, manifestation. Now, they just gave me another read on this. The addict, the Scorpio top line is the Scorpio collective that I'm reading for, But the other in this could be your own wounded child. Now that's helpful. That's truly helpful. That really, even if it is another person who's a wounded child, what are the chances they're mirroring your own wounds? Maybe not in form, but in content, right? The way they acted out. And for you to be a companion. That's just a really neat way to read this, and that was really cool. Thank you. Nothing like the angels. So let's have a look. Let's see how this bears out. Let's bear this child. Please, 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 my angels, please clarify the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September 2019. Well, Serenity. Well, if you want the Serenity prayer, you got the Serenity card for addictions. So, I mean, this could be a friend that's going through it again. The new love here may be a renewed love or somebody new in your life, but, you know, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, because they're manifesting something, whether this is your own inner wounded child or someone else, that they're in a process of manifesting. What are they manifesting? I don't know yet, but that you're in this new sense of love. So I find that very, very, very interesting. This movie's over a touch because I am a Virgo and I want to make sure the cards have room to breathe. Let's ask the daughters of the moon. Now the gods, and this is the deck I use to get info from my gods. Two gods sit in the house, the throne of Scorpio. For me, I have Scorpio in 4th house. Yep. It's Hades and Poseidon. Yes. Oh, no, let's not. Let's not. Let me ask first. That's my new role with them. It's like, let me ask first. You kick it out, let it come around again. So, my gods, Hades, Poseidon, please, any god that chooses, that's willing to be truly helpful, please, one card for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign in this relationship for the remainder of September 2019. Okay, so there's another new card. That's the Ace of Flames, the Ace of Wands. So there is a new, the word on the card is creation, right? So there's something new being created. Now, looking at this card of manifestation, maybe they manifested you. We'll look, we'll see. So, but that really clicks with that new love card, that it's, a new inspiration, a new creation, a new desire. But just an ace, a potential, but exciting, can be very passionate. So please, my gods, one card in clarity for the wounded child in this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship for the remainder of September 2019, the Tower. All right, so what are they manifesting? The Tower. Now, Kali, the Awakener, I really love the Daughters of the Moon interpretation of that because, yes, something has been struck down, but we always take that the foundation is faulty, and yeah, it is, so that it can be rebuilt. But we always tend to think of it so physically, but you can manifest a truth that shatters things, or the truth being revealed. Light is truth. So lightning, the yod, the finger of the god in this case, finger of the goddess, that they have manifested something that perhaps is upsetting and happened very quickly. Oh, wow. I've had these cards forever, and I didn't realize that there are two towers being struck here, and these were created before 9/11, considering we just went through the anniversary of that last week. Yeah, look at this one over here. All right, this one over here is easy to see, but look, that lightning strikes over there and blows up something. I swear to God, it's all these years I've never seen that. So maybe you are both struck by some truth, by some lightning as a result of this wounded child's manifestation. Let's get this last one down for the overall relationship then, because now I want to know. Please, my gods, one card of clarity for this overall Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus Sun relationship for the remainder of September 2019, because we've got the companion here with Serenity. The Lover's card. Now, we've already got one major arcana card down. We've got now two major arcana cards down. But the Lovers always indicates a life-changing decision, not just a choice, right? So with Serenity and companionship, that a decision is being made here. You know, because I look at this new love and this manifestation and this Serenity, just to remind you of the angels there, that the new love totally makes sense. Ace of Flames. Completely makes sense. The manifestation of the Tower, the truth, something instantly destroyed to be rebuilt or walked away from. And then we've got this Serenity card with the Lovers, that the decision to really, really establish some serenity, that this is available here in this relationship, but the decision must be made. A serene decision, regardless of the form of that, if that's the heart of it, so to speak, that as your companion in this, a companion need not be lover necessarily, as your friend, we're going to use this relationship to decide for serenity, to, you know, move forward with as much grace as we can. Let's not completely clarify that as that until we get the last 6 cards down. We're only doing 15 cards in this spread. This is one that I would clarify on Vimeo, though, I have a feeling. So it's good for me to see that. My masters, please, 1 card for the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September 2019. Fantasy. Scorpio, check your fantasies. Is this something that you're dreaming in your head? Are you seeing clearly? Fantasy, look, we all have dreams. We all fantasize about things we want. There's nothing wrong with that. But maybe you're seeing this as a new love. Maybe you're feeling this as a new love, but your fantasies are getting in the way. It can be that, oh my God, I'll get screwed over again, or oh my God, this is an addict. I've done this before. I'm going to repeat this, which is, you know, the person lying in the hammock is in a really bad situation. They're visualizing, they're fantasizing that they're in a happy place. Maybe it's the other way around. Don't know just yet. Just because the addict is present doesn't mean that the relationship doesn't serve, and it can't be wonderful if the work is done. It's just the way it is. This is all pre-incarnational contract. You can't be with the wrong person. It's just like being in a video game. Is this the boss on the level for you, or is this a companion player? Well, let's put it in video game context. Thank you. My masters, please, 1 card to clarify this wounded child archetype with manifestation and Kali, the awakener, the Tower, in the Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign for the remainder of September 2019. The villain. Okay, so yeah, we got 2 womp womp cards. Are saying get down the third. It'll explain. So please, let's go right there. My masters, please, 1 card for this Scorpio relationship, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign collective Scorpio relationship for the remainder of September 2019. Please, 1 card to clarify the overall giving of oneself. So there is something sweet and tender about this 3rd line, particularly with this companion thing, where you have this fantasy perhaps in your mind. I'm not saying that you can't visualize what you want. I mean, I get that. But it's different. You can hold a compassionate vision of somebody that they can't hold for themselves. That's truly compassionate. But to not see what's going on is a different story, right? You might be so wand over heels in love, that with that Ace of Wands, that spark of creativity. But this is a companion relationship overall. Doesn't mean you can't be lovers, but really you need, I'm just feeling there's a need to give of oneself here on both sides, right? To make the decision to walk each other through this process. And that's why we have these lovely whispers of love oracles. I love these cards. It's lovely to pull one of these every day, because none of them like, screw it. They say it in a much kinder way, but you know, tarot says, screw it. Oracle cards are like, well, look at your relationship patterns and move away with her. You know. Girl, you in trouble. I love tarot. These are lovely. So please, my Scorpios, for my Scorpios, my collective pantheon of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves, please, a whisper of love for the Scorpio collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign in their relationship for September 2019. True love. So once in a lifetime love. Now remember, true love need not be romantic, but that there is something about the divine going on here. So your impulse for new love and this fantasy that you have of it being one way, know that this is a once in a lifetime love, but it is one that has its challenges like every true love does. Need not be romantic, even though you got the Lover's card. Because the Lover's card, to say that that is always about a romantic union, a soulmate, whatever, just doesn't jive with me. Yes, that's in there, but even that would be a life-changing decision, right? If it was at that level, that if I decide to be with this person, my life is going to change. And how much do we like change, Scorpios? I'm not a Scorpio. Neptune and Scorpio, right? But then, you know, they've got this villain card here, this wounded child. So please, 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 some guidance and grace, my collective pantheon of angels, gods, and masters, and higher selves. Please whisper of love about this wounded child in this Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign relationship. Receive with love and appreciation. Receiving something lovingly from others is a way of showing love, which is fine, that they need to be in that place of recepting, right? Receive with love and appreciation. And then we've got giving oneself on the other here. Just make sure you're not giving the farm away, my Scorpios. Watch your boundaries. Check intuitively. Do not let this fantasy of this new love or renewal of love blind you to what's going on, to the point where you are addictively giving away to feed that fantasy, which is just another form of medication for you, or that you are giving too much to someone who is in the role of a villain right now, with the tower blowing them up with manifestation. In other words, be loving but be wise, right? It's the balance we're looking for, as the triumvirate of love, wisdom, and power. Because you take one of those three, the tripod falls over, right? It's about a balance of love, wisdom, and power. So last card down, please, my pantheons of angels, gods, masters, and higher selves. Please, one card to clarify and end the spread for this Scorpio collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun relationship with this wounded child for September 2019. Look at your relationship patterns. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. So yes, this has tinges of codependence. It may not be everybody in the collective that I'm reading for. That's a lot of people. But just not be warned, be aware. Yes, it's what the word beware means, like beware, but be aware. There's stuff going on here that perhaps neither one of you are aware of, but if this is your own wounded child that you're dealing with, part of the child archetype, I say to you that you cannot give too much true love to that child of your heart, and you just sit there now in silence. Nobody needs to see you do this. You may actually have emotions show on your face, so lock yourself in the bathroom. Oh, well, I usually do it in the bathtub, right? Just turn the shower on, just let all the snot and the tears go. I love you, kid. I love you. It's okay that I'm so sorry that you're wounded. It's okay you feel this way. I love you. I love you. I love you, because perhaps it's feeling like a villain, that it's done everything wrong. And can you do that for another? Well, as a companion, yes, you can, but they have to be open and willing and honest. So there is a life-changing decision here. So let's go across the rows horizontally. So you've got the addict, my Scorpios, but again, this might be you confronting addiction in another, this wounded child, right? But with this new love, this Ace of Flames, and fantasy, yes, there is true love. I'm not feeling that that's what the fantasy is, but true love needs truth in you. You need to see the truth, and maybe the higher fifth dimensional truth of it all, which is we're all one. Sure, absolutely, but then also keep your feet on the ground, right? See what is, right? Forget about second sight. Go for first sight. What's actually going on here? See what is. That doesn't mean to see only through the patterning of the illusion of separation, third dimensional consciousness, and all that, but that you really assess the situation, that you can then move forward with true love. And true love is unconditional love fully manifested in a relationship. It's saying, well, I love you and I'm here to help, and I love myself, and I will not be lied to, and I will not be fooled, and I will not be taken for a ride. Because the other here is this wounded child manifesting a tower moment. Feels like a bigger than a moment, right? because they're the villain, or they see themselves as the villain, and can they be receptive? Can they receive with love and appreciation? Remains to be seen. It's the rest of the month of September to look at. Then we have this really lovely third line here for the relationship itself, which doesn't just give me hope. It explains to me on an intuitive level as well as an intellectual level that there is a decision to heal here, and that true love can conquer all, but it need not necessarily be, again, romantic sexual, could be, right? So that the two of you are companions, right? That there's this serenity thing, but you have to decide for the serenity, the balance of head and heart, love and wisdom, in terms of giving oneself through really looking at your relationship patterns. So Scorpio, have you done this before? Have you been a rescuer? Have you been codependent? Now, codependent in the original meaning, like codependent no more, Melody Beattie, was all about alcohol and substance abuse addiction. And over the decades, that morphed to become really relationship addiction, romance addiction, because the endorphins, it's very Postcards from the Edge, right? Oh, the oxytocin, right? Just all the chemicals that come in, they're chemicals. You can get addicted to that. Anybody can. So being a love addict is no journey. Well, it's a journey sometimes we have to take so that we can get that. It's by loving ourselves, we set ourselves free, and then we are free to love freely. A lot of F's in that. But overall, my Scorpios, hang in there. This feels like perhaps a counselor might be needed, at least for you, to help you cope, to help you get what you need there. I don't tell people what to do. I just make suggestions. Yes, I'm a spiritual counselor, and I'm brilliant at it, and I've dealt with a lot of people in similar situations, similar in content, not in form necessarily, because I don't know exactly what you're going through here. But at least find good counsel, right? Find good counsel, whether it's psychological, medical, physical, if necessary, if it comes to that, but certainly spiritual, because with that card of true love is a mystical force, not just a spiritual force. This is definitely, I would say, this is a path of true love read, but not for this format being called that. I wish you the best of luck, my Scorpios. I have very, very dear friends who are Scorpios. I hope that if this is them, they will reach out and ask, but chances are they're not watching me anyway, because they're my friends, not my followers, even though they may follow along. Yeah. I wish you the very best and the blessed of the rest of September, but for now, my darling Scorpios, hail, farewell, be strong, and blessed be.